Hello, entrepreneurs, dreamers, business owners, and happy people with high hopes. Welcome to Cashflows with your host, Cash Matthews.
All right. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Cash Matthews, and I am the host this morning of Cashflows. And because my name, that's supposed to be kind of funny, but we're glad you're here. Today and on Cashflows, we talk about those life questions that are important and the good life and how to do better in life and business and, I don't know, maybe relationships. Well, maybe we'll talk about that. We're coming to you today from Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the luxurious audio suite at Elevate Coworking, 91st and Sheridan, for all of your cowork. I thought it was Coworking.
No, it's not. That's what my autocomplete thinks, but
yeah, but it's
autocorrect.
It's Coworking.
It is Coworking.
Yeah. So we're here at Elevate Coworking in the podcast studio,
Yeah.
and we're really glad to be here today. I'm here today with my good friend, and my co-conspirator, Mr.
Ooh.
Kenneth Buckham. Kenneth, answer that eternal question that all of your fans are asking. What's a guy like you doing in a nice place like this?
I was a little bit distracted when I was at home. I actually followed a trail of candy and somehow ended up here. So I'm not sure if it's like a, one of those, I forgot the name of the story now, where they left the gingerbread trail, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's one of those deals. Maybe someone's lost and needs us to find them, but I picked up the candy on the way
Hansel
in.
and Gretel. Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel.
I'm sure that was left out for somebody that right now is completely lost. Thank you for that.
Yeah, well.
Did you get anything good?
A couple of candy canes, actually. That's pretty much all it was.
Okay.
So, a little peppermint.
So while we're on the topic of candy, do you have a favorite candy?
A favorite candy. So I actually do. I'm a sucker for some M&Ms, but if I want to do it just slightly healthier, there's a brand called Unreal that's pretty good. So it's just a little bit better ingredients, less of the high fructose corn syrup and weird dyes, but it still tastes like M&Ms.
Wait, high fructose corn syrup is bad?
Well, to some people.
Oh,
It depends on.
Try to take a shot of that daily.
just I got a cup of it right now.
I think it's gotten a bad rap. Anyway.
Well, that's kind of a corny joke there.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, shucks. That was good, right?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
That's why we did the little drum hit.
All right, I got it.
Do it again, just for fun.
Very cool. Well, for those of you here watching, listening to Cashflows, we're glad you're here. The purpose of Cashflows is to promote entrepreneurship and people and the good life and to have, more money and more free time and better relationships. And from time to time, we bring on local entrepreneurs who are doing just that. They exhibit excellence in their work. They're contributing to the community. And we have a philosophy. It's on the board behind us, and that is fire, aim, ready. And, I've been an entrepreneur for 42 years. And if you go back into my childhood, even longer, but a legit entrepreneur. And one of the things I've noticed about people endeavoring to do something, whether it's entrepreneurship or lose weight or take a trip or go on a great vacation, is they just never get around to it. And their lives become one endeavor of ready, aim, and they never pull the trigger. And what I have found is certain entrepreneurs like myself, we sort of pull the trigger and then figure it out along the way. And that's how Cashflows, the podcast, began, is we just decided, hey, we want to have a voice in this economy. We want to have a voice in this community, and we want the other people in this community to have that same voice. So we started this little deal called Cashflows. And, we would love it if you would download us on any of the premium apps, Spotify, Apple. Are there others? Steve's podcast.
There's a couple.
Inc.
Yeah, there's a couple of others.
I don't remember.
Tom's podcast.
Tom's podcast. Yeah.
Watchthispodcast.com or something.
Sure. Yeah, we're in all of those. We're
all of them.
Very cool. So anyway, we're glad you're here. And in a minute, we're going to introduce our guest, Coltin Ratcliff. And anyway, so we love entrepreneurs. Whole purpose of this is just hanging out with entrepreneurs and meeting people that would like to be an entrepreneur and pulling the trigger on becoming an entrepreneur. And I've been so blessed, Kenneth, 42 years in a row. I'm in the financial business, but most of my work has been with entrepreneurs and through this event that we created called the Business Owners Networking Group, which is a very unfortunate 3-4-letter acronym that actually spells B.O.N.G. Now, before our event, did you know what a B.O.N.G was?
I was aware.
You were aware. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I became aware of what they were, but I'd never seen one.
I went to public school, so I've
Well, I went to public school too.
I know
but
a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two.
Okay. Got it. Well, so we started this event, and here in Tulsa, we began this event 2 years ago with an idea. Hey, maybe we could go meet a few people, make a few friends. My wife and I were brand new to town, and in a short 2-year period, that group's grown to 5,500 people. And I'll just be bold and say we're the largest, fastest growing, most significant, impactful networking group in North America.
Yep.
And the people that we're meeting absolutely inspire me. I met you, and it's a different kind of group. We travel together, we eat food together, we just kind of do life together. And so it's been a really wonderful experience. That's where I met you.
I actually have an idea, Cash. I noticed what you did there, whether you did it on purpose or not, I'm not sure, but significant, impactful networking group. We could just call ourselves Sing.
Sing,
It
yeah.
could be karaoke night. So for the B.O.N.G members listening that feel like organizing an event, maybe that's an idea.
I didn't do that on purpose, and I didn't start the B.O.N.G name on purpose. It was just like, we'll just call it, business owners networking.
All right, so let's put that in our pockets for an idea.
Yeah, well, so it got unfortunate after that, and I got asked to speak at the West Austin networking group. No, for real. And I'm in the middle of doing my presentation, and I realized what their acronym was, and I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll stop right there. That's a good point to introduce.
That's a good spot.
Introduce our guest today. Our guest today is Coltin Ratcliff, the founder, president, and owner of Premium Lawns LLC here in the Tulsa area.
Cool.
Coltin, I'm sorry, golly, we had a Colin in here recently. Coltin, I told you if we screw this up, we ain't erasing it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we got you. So we have Coltin Ratcliff here today. Coltin, tell us just a little bit about yourself, just brief.
Coltin Ratcliff. I'm 26 years old, Tulsa native, born and raised here. Followed the corporate trail there for a little bit, and I decided one day I woke up and I said, you know what, I'm tired of this. I want to be an entrepreneur. My mom owned a business growing up, and I was like, I really like that atmosphere growing up, so I was like, I'm going for it.
Very cool. So now Kenneth and I met you through this event or this group called the B.O.N.G, and I know you're one of our newer members.
Yes.
And so we're excited to bring you in on this podcast and to showcase you out in the world. Tell us how you found the B.O.N.G, and I know you have some friends in there besides us. Tell us a little bit about your B.O.N.G experience so far, although it's fairly brief.
The B.O.N.G group is awesome. I got turned on to the B.O.N.G group by Dakota Krebs. I got friends like you, Cash, and Kenneth, and I met Lori. Very glad to meet you guys. Hopefully I can get more involved and, get more deep rooted within the community of B.O.N.G.
Very
Sweet.
cool. Man, we're glad to have you. And I know you're in the lawn business, and I want to tell you a quick story about lawn business real quick. When I think I was 14 or 15, and I've always been an entrepreneur. And my dad was a funny guy, and he named his two boys Cash and Carrie. And I think I was 13, had a paper out, I mowed yards, I babysat, I cleaned pools, I worked on bicycles. Then my brother and I started Cash and Carrie's lawn improvement service. And I'm telling you, we killed it. Like, we made all kinds of money. We were young kids, and I had more disposable income than my parents did. So I'm like, I might be rich. I've got $84
Right?
with no bills.
Yeah, so I have. I had somebody else paying all the bills. So I have been in your industry for a minute, and that business kept going. My stepdad took it over, and it ran for another 20 years.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I loved it. I loved watching it and being part of it, and but I enjoyed the entrepreneurial side, and I know you do too. So let's dig into you first. I want to find out a little bit about you. You said your mom was an entrepreneur. Let's talk about who Coltin is.
Yeah, I'm from Tulsa. Growing up, my parents owned a salvage yard growing up, so I was always around cars and got to experience working on cars, pulling car parts, stuff like that. And I started working at Quick Trip when I was 16 years old. That's a local company. It's a huge company, great company. And I worked there for 5 years, and I was just tired. I was ready to do something else.
Yeah.
So I went home, talked to my grandpa, and he was like, "Well, let's start my own company together." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. how are we going to come up with the money? And he actually invested in me. And
Wow. So your early investor was your grandfather,
yes,
and he has seen what you've become.
yes. Unfortunately, he passed in February of 21.
Mm.
So
But and your business was already going.
yes, we started. Well, kind of. We started in March of 2020, and he had pancreatic cancer. He beat it, and it ended up coming back with a vengeance, and he passed away in February of 21.
Well, sorry about that, but so glad that he believed in you enough. And to that extent, your grandfather lives a little bit in you.
Oh yeah,
that he helped fund your business and get it going. As you were getting going in that first year, I bet he was jacked up about that.
Oh yeah, he was excited. It was hard. First year is always hard with business.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't tell you that. They're like, "Oh yeah, I own a business. You do whatever you want."
Oh no,
I found out real quick. No, you can't do that,
dude. If we told you how hard it was, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Kenneth and I are going. No, be an entrepreneur. It's awesome. We'll love on each other.
It'll be fun. They say.
Yeah. Then you get kicked in the head by a horse, and you're like, wow, that was abrupt.
And then you keep getting kicked in the head by that horse.
Yeah, then it becomes like a daily exercise. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Someone take this horse out for a walk. He keeps kicking me in the head. Golly.
Soon enough, you get a callus, so you're getting used to it.
Well, that's part of it, man. That's just business strength.
Sure is.
Yeah.
And once you go through, you go through some stuff, you become stronger. Then when it shows up the second or third or 30th time, you're like, yeah, I've been here before.
Yeah, exactly.
Your bravery and your courage increases. Well, tell us about your business. Tell us about Premium Lawns LLC, what you guys do, who you serve.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we started in 2020. It started off as Coltin's Premium Lawns. We started off as a mowing landscape company. In 21, I rebranded it. I didn't like my name in the name of the business.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to name it Premium Lawns. And we did mowing and landscape up until 2022, and we started doing weed control treatments, spraying services, and that's all we do now. We don't
weed control at the Bong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a perfect match right here
Sounds
today.
appropriate. Yeah.
So we're doing the weed control, spraying service, perimeter pest control, and we don't have any mowing anymore. Like I said, I mentioned Dakota Krebs. He owns a mowing company in Sapulpa, Superior Turf. We kind of partnered up. I sent a lot of business his way. So
very cool. Yeah, he was one of the Bong Spotlight members of the week. We really like that guy. He's got a good heart.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. Hard worker for sure.
Yeah. So who are your clients? Are homeowners primarily? Do you do commercial work as well?
Yes, absolutely. So we do residential work and commercial work. We're in the Tulsa metro area. Tulsa, Wasso, Broken Arrow, Jinx, just a metro area of Tulsa. So,
Do you service Salisaw, Henrietta, Wagoner, Bowlegs?
Absolutely not.
Sorry, that's an old joke. So you started your company after your career at Quick Trip.
Yes.
Grandfather helped you get it going.
Yeah.
First year was tough. So are we in year 3 now?
Yeah, we're going into year 4 right now.
Man, and it's working, right?
Oh yeah. I should have never even done mowing.
So the mowing part was a little more difficult.
Oh, 100%. I was very blessed with my grandpa. We went out and bought brand new equipment. I had the best of the best. And it was just hard to get work. I mean, it's hard to compete when you're owner operator and you're facing crews or companies that have 4-man crews. It's hard to go get those commercial properties. So
Right.
we struggled in that aspect there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I think there's a book written called Start With Why.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite books. And I think in business, one of the things that you have to have is a substantial, why am I doing this? What's yours?
Man, my why is I really want to build a company where people, they come to and enjoy. I talk about Quick Trip. Quick Trip was a great family-oriented business. And, I took a lot of concepts from them and kind of put it in my own business. So, I want to build a company where, I have a guy come work for me. I want him to work for me for 40 years, not 1 year and quit. I want to build a family infrastructure within my company. That's
Right.
my why.
Right. That blesses the community in a big way when you have a solid, stable company.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. So you have to have some goals. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. Some people call them big, hairy, audacious goals, and I don't know if I believe in big hair. I just like pretty good goals.
Yeah.
You
You got to have something.
Yeah, 20 million in the bank is a pretty good goal.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's not super hairy.
So,
just green and wrinkly.
That's a good point. So tell us a little bit about what you see coming down the line for your company.
We're really gonna try to push being more involved in the community.
Okay.
We really want to get like deep rooted. Like, hey, we are Tulsa's go-to weed control and fertilizing company.
Right.
So that is what I'm really trying to push these next couple of years. Along with the next couple of years, I would like to expand to some other markets, maybe Oklahoma City, maybe go to another state like Dallas or North Carolina or something like that.
You'll have to talk a little slower if you move down to Texas. Sorry, I had to get in a Red River rivalry joke.
Of course.
So right now, is it just you?
It's me and another guy. He's one of my best friends. Grew up with him since third grade, and I hired him on, and we're going after it.
So I got to ask you a question. There's a guy that I follow named Weldon Long. He wrote a book called The Power of Consistency. He's in the air conditioning business, but his business is not different than yours. And I know that one of your goals was to grow up and be a top 500 company, either on the Fortune 500 or the Forbes 500. Well, he did just that in a 2-year period, immediately after getting out of jail for like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And he started his idea in jail. And I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but there's a similarity because you had that same goal, but you're obviously not in jail.
Yeah. Luckily.
Well, this is a small cell, but
Yeah. Let's do this. Thinking of it like that.
These walls are kind of closing in now.
We need to do this in the conference room. But I want to encourage you with that. There are some books out there, and that's one of the books that I read had a profound impact on my business.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about books, I just read a book. It's called Net Promoter. It's talking about NPS. I don't know if you know anything about Net Promoter Score or anything like that, but it's a definitely good read. We're going to implement that in our company this upcoming year. And
tell us a little bit about NPS because I'm not familiar.
So NPS is like it's a 1 to 10 scale or a 1 to 5 scale. Most of your bigger companies use it. Like the airlines are huge in it,
right?
And it's customer engagement. Hey, how likely are you to refer a family or a friend? And they can put a 1 or a 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. So it's going to keep customer retention rate coming in. It's going to keep customers happy because, they put a 5 down on the NPS. I'm going to be on the phone call and say, hey, what are we doing wrong? What do we need to do?
How do we fix it? How do we get this to 8?
Yes.
Or whatever the number needs to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. Well, maybe we adopt that here.
It needs to be a 10. That's what it needs to be.
At the Cashflows store.
Great book. There is definitely 2 books of Net Promoter Score. I'll share them to you after the podcast.
Yeah. Well, if you want to tell them now, like you got fans out there now.
Well, it's I don't know. I'll have to tell you after the show because I don't remember the author because there's two different books and
I'd like to know those and maybe we can add those. We have speaker notes after this where we can add things like that. So we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Well, so the first year you're going through some stuff. I know you've had some kinds of adversities.
Oh man.
And that's one of our things that we want to know is like how did you recognize them? How do you overcome them? And then how do you defeat them in the future?
So, there's a lot of adversity starting a company. A lot of people don't tell you about them. Gaining clientele is super hard. People think, oh, it's just super easy. You just go talk to somebody.
Yeah, just get a business card. You'll be good.
Yeah. Here's a business card. Hey, call me sometime. No, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
So, I went door knocking. Like I'm a door knocking guy. Like I'll go knock on your door and sell you something. So that's kind of what I did. I had to. Like I didn't have a plan B. So that's what I did.
Say that line again. I don't have a plan B.
I don't have a plan B.
Dude, I think that's the answer to so much in business. Keep going. I interrupted you, but that's a good one.
And we struggled a lot that first year, and my back was up against the wall, and I had to make it happen. So we started growing. I grew up to 2 crews the first year, which doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people, but that was huge for me.
Yeah.
And we grew the business, and just that.
So you were mowing the first year.
Yeah, I was mowing the first year I was on the truck. It's terrible. I don't think you could pay me to mow another lawn. I'd pay a neighborhood kid to come mow my yard because I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah, I've got a guy. We have a Bong member that mows our yard, and and they do a fine job.
Yeah.
It's anyway. But we also have kids that come knock on the door. Hey, I'll mow your yard for $25. Like, oh no, I'm committed to my friend for 60.
Right. Well, and if Dakota came my way, Dakota would have my business. But Dakota's out in Sepulpa and I'm out in Tulsa. So.
Oh,
Alrighty. So what about competitors for what you do? How do you? I mean, you don't really collaborate with those people, but I mean, aren't there national companies out there that do what you do?
Oh yeah, as far as like the weed control, everybody, not everybody, a lot of clientele within the Tulsa metro area, they use like a Fairway or a True Green, and those are nationally owned companies.
We'll delete those names out in
sorry.
post production. No, that's okay.
But yeah, I mean they're nationally known companies and they do great work. Nothing bad to say, but I try to push. Hey, support local business.
And buddy, that's what we're doing right here, man. We want to dominate those guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel, Kenneth, you probably feel the same way. Having a local person and spending money locally is a big deal.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I had some experiences related to home security and things like that. There were sometimes there's local people that you end up learning the hard way don't actually have it all together yet.
Right.
And then sometimes, you realize after that the national people don't either.
Yeah.
It's different. You never know who you're going to talk to. You don't really get to know them too much. And so that's why I like dealing with local people. You get to know them a little bit better. And when it's someone you like, know, and trust, it's easier to do business with them. So
that's the whole basis for business. We think,
Yeah.
in the networking world, is people buy from other people that they know, that they like, that they trust. And that just takes a little while, but you've been doing that for 26 years here in the Tulsa community.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have a unique advantage over those national companies is you've got a 26-year track record locally of being a human.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think that plays a big part into our company. I have a great mentor. He worked for a pretty big local lawn care company here before they, they sold out to a national company. And he's helped me out quite a bit. And super happy to have him as a mentor. And he's kind of helped out a lot.
A lot of our guests on this show talk about an extra person in their life, somebody that's not in their business, but near their business and in their life. But, I think mentorship is awesome. That's wise of you to seek that out and keep it.
Oh, absolutely. I suggest anybody who owns a business, go find a mentor.
Yeah.
I mean, because you will learn a lot. Like you have someone to lean on. Yeah, you have your significant other, your kids. I have dogs. I have a significant other myself. But that mentor, like my significant other doesn't want to hear about my problems at work. Like go talk to your mentor. Found out a solution to that problem. And I suggest everybody go find a mentor.
Yeah, and I think for those that work in corporate America, that's probably a little tougher because if somebody hires you, maybe they don't want to train you well enough to take their job.
Right.
And what I've seen happen in corporate America is people work just hard enough to keep from getting fired, and then corporate America, to some degree, pays you just little enough to keep you from quitting. And there's that standoff. But when you break free as an entrepreneur, you get to determine how much money you make.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm the type of person, like I want more. Like I am so driven, You can tell me, hey, like, well, I'll say this, like I'll make a goal and I'm like, you know what? Like I'm hitting that goal, like I'm gonna double that. Like that's just me. Like I strive for that.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick commercial break
and
say thank you to our sponsors here on the wall behind us. Mr. Kenneth, take us away.
Yes, sir. All right, so we do have lots of great sponsors here of the Cashflows podcast. We're going to talk about one of them today, CM Customs. Embark on a journey into the realm of affordable custom gifting and branded excellence with CM Customs. From custom trophies to personalized closing gifts, lake maps, drinkware, and professional branded items, we are your go-to for unmatched customization, making you the hero of every occasion. Learn more at shopcmcustoms.com.
And we love those guys, Clarence Shaw and Missy Shaw from CM Customs. They've done all of our awards at the Bong Group, and they did all of our tumblers, our coffee cups, and shirts. And Man, they have just been a godsend. When we started this Bong event, Clarence was one of the first 12 people in the group, and we just became friends. And let me tell you, life is better with friends, and running a business is better with friends. He and I are not in the same business, but we support each other. And he's been a big part of this this cash. I can't wait to get him on the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may have to get him and Missy on the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are some great people.
Yeah, we can plug in some more mics. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Hey, Clarence, we're coming after you. All righty. Well, we're here today with Coltin Ratcliff, the owner of Premium Lawns LLC.com here in the Tulsa area. 26-year-old guy, started his business about 3 years ago, and we're just talking about winning and losing.
Yeah.
And the difference in winners and losers. And sometimes it's like the difference in, winners and whiners. I know you've probably seen those in your world.
Oh yeah.
So let's go down to so what keeps you motivated? Like you're kind of a one-man band right now. You've got a partner.
Yeah.
But you're driving the bus. Talk to us about motivation and what gets you up in the morning.
Man, I don't like to lose. Like that is just me. Like I am not.
Oh, man.
Failure is not an option. Failure is not a word in my dictionary in my head. It's just not.
Right.
Like it's either gonna work or it's gonna work. Like
we'll find a way where there is no way.
Yes.
Now, were you an athlete growing up?
Absolutely.
Okay. What sports were you in?
I played football. I wrestled. I played baseball growing up. My favorite was wrestling. I was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where'd you go to high school?
I went to Union High School right down the road.
Okay, so you were in a big school then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's so. Do you think that those athletics carry over into your business?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, being an athlete, you have that mindset of, hey, like, I want this.
Right.
And, I was very blessed to be able to play sports growing up. I know some people, they don't get the option to play sports or,
right.
And I was very blessed to do that.
Well, the unique thing about wrestling, it's just you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're on a team, but it's you.
Yeah.
And it's winner take all, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's the same thing in your business.
Yeah. I relate to that, from wrestling into my business, like, hey, this is on me. Like if I win, I win. And if I fail, like, I got a guy that works for me. Like he's got a family depending on me. Like I can't fail.
I had a unique situation a few years ago, Colton, that I got to have dinner with one of the editors of Sports Illustrated, and he had written a book. He had studied the greatest of the great athletes, the great ones, Michael Jordan, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, all of them, and he had studied them, and he wanted to find out what motivated them, the same question you and I are talking about. And there were a few of us at dinner with this fellow, and really nice guy, gave us all copies of the book. And he said, he asked us, what do you think is the one common element among the greatest of the great athletes? And we were all making stuff up, like work ethic or, Oklahoma Sooner fan, like, all the
Nike shoes.
Nike. Yeah, there's none of those. There's none of those. And he said the number one common element between the great ones was just what you said. They hate to lose.
Yeah.
They expect to win. A big win for them was like, yeah, I'm supposed to. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up today.
Cool. I
to
did
get
my
second.
Job.
Right. That's right. I did. Yeah, that's my job. Bobby Jones is one of the greatest golfers from the era of the 20s. And somebody congratulated him for doing something exceptional. And he said, don't congratulate me. This is what I do. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, that's his job.
And that's that mindset. I think, I don't know if you've studied mindset at all, but I think mindset is one of the key elements in business, and getting the right mindset. I don't know. I think that can be tricky. Like how did you started wrestling, but when did you start the winner's mindset?
Man, I've always had that. Like it's something that has come to me. Like I think when I first started wrestling, I was in 6th grade. We had a tryout in middle school, and I didn't even try out. The coach came up to me and was like, "Hey, like you're on the team." Like I was a broad-shouldered kid, lean down, and he was like, "Hey, you don't even have to try out. You're on the team." Well, I got on the team, and I think I lost my first couple of matches, and I was like, you know what, I don't like this, and that's it. It flipped a switch for me, and I was like, you know what, I'm not losing no more.
Right.
And that's just what drove me.
So along the way, then in athletics, I bet you had a few people that made a difference for you?
Oh yeah, my old wrestling coach, he's a college coach now, is Kevin Crutchmer. He's over in Oshada, Arkansas. I don't even know if I'm saying that name right, but yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's got two boys. They went up on to wrestle at OSU, and one's an MMA fighter now, and
Wow.
they're doing pretty good. Yeah, he was a big mentor for me on my wrestling growing up.
And I think it's so cool that we, each of us on the way up, we'll call it that, have somebody that stuck their head into our door and went, "Hey, I want to help you." And they may not have said it that way, but they were there. They showed up at the right time. And then it's on you though to take the advice and put in the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's your work ethic like then? Let's start with athletics. What was your work ethic like?
When I was younger, man, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm in shape, whatever.
Right.
Once I got older, gotten into like junior high and, the varsity ranks, I was like, hey, like I got to work harder than all these guys.
Right.
We had team practice and, there was a few of us that would stay after practice. Well, I was one of those few that stayed after practice so I could get more training in, do what I need to do.
Right.
And, there's kids that, they come in, they do what they need to do and go home. And I'm like, man, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this?
There's a story in the golf world about I won't say his name because I don't know that this story is true, and I may very well have just made it up, but I've heard it a bunch of times, and supposedly happened down in Austin, Texas at Onion Creek Country Club where the senior PGA Tour began, and somebody was watching him hit balls on the range. And the range down there lets lots of fan interaction. And they said, "Man, Gary, I'd give anything to hit balls the way you do." And he must not have been having a very good day. He went, "No, you wouldn't. There's no way you would do that, or you'd already be doing it."
Yeah.
And he says, "I've hit millions of balls. I hit balls when it's raining. I hit balls when I'm sick. I hit balls when I'm tired. I practice all the time. I practice way more than I play." And, I think in life you get paid for what you do in private. You get rewarded in public, but you get paid for all that hard work that you did in private.
Oh yeah, I look back at that as like, hey, like that's an iceberg. Like people see like, hey, it's all public. Sorry about that. Like the results, but no one sees
What's
underneath.
below it, yeah.
And like I love that reference because like people don't see all the hard work, the tears, the sweat, the blood. People
Yeah.
don't see that.
Yeah, that 10,000 hours of practice that makes you that professional, that expert in your field.
Right.
Yeah, and it's funny, we're talking about work ethic, you were talking about golf. Like look at John Daly and Tiger Woods. Like John Daly, like he's smoking a cigarette, drinking Diet Coke, and just doesn't care. And you look at Tiger Woods growing up, like he was chipping and putting and then working on his drive game.
Right.
Like it's just funny, like looking at people's different work ethic. But they're some of the greatest golfers in the world.
Yeah, I saw an interview and they were like, "Hey, Tiger, when you play in a tournament, what's your warm-up thing like?" And he's like, "Oh, I have an hour in the gym and I do stretching and flex work and then I hit balls and 100 putts." And, "Hey, John Daly, what's your work ethic?" He's like, "Yeah, I get there about 10 minutes before, smoke a cigarette, have a Diet Coke, putt for 30 seconds, and I'm good."
Yeah.
Okay. Who am I to argue? I don't know. Well, let's talk about your hobbies. Outside of work, what kind of stuff do you do?
Oh man, I race. I drive micro sprints over at Port City in Catoosa. If you haven't been, go check it out.
Cool.
I got some free tickets. If you're interested, reach out.
We are interested.
Reach out.
Interested.
Absolutely, I'll give you guys some. You guys can come check out the racing, and that's what I do basically from March to October on the weekends. Like I love it.
That's cool.
You ever seen anything like that? You ever been to any car racing?
I have just a little bit. So one of our guests talked about racing out at Howlett, and I've been out there once or twice and took some pictures of cars going around the track and things. And I want to go fast, but I also don't want to pay the insurance on the vehicle that goes fast.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I haven't done a lot myself.
I have a pretty good racing career out on Highway 169 North. And
Yeah.
I try to navigate that. I put in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, bumper cars. I should try to avoid bumping the cars.
I don't know. I'm kind of a big deal in highway racing. I got it up to 66 last week.
Ooh.
Yeah, awesome. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no worries. But yeah, racing is a true hobby of mine. Like that was kind of my first love, kind of growing up, and that's another thing that you talk about, like sports wise. Like it's just me. Like it's just me in that car. Like
Just you, man.
yeah. So I mean, you got to put in the work,
Mhm.
and I just love it.
So I have not seen. Say the name of the car category that is?
It's a dirt oval car. So,
Okay.
And yeah,
So you're pitching it sideways in the turns and all of that?
absolutely.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I love the taste of dirt in the air. Like
Mm.
that's that's okay. We're going. So what, they start back up in March?
Yes. And
Yeah,
cool.
we're starting the Coltin Ratcliff fan club at the Bong.
There we go.
Absolutely. That'd be awesome, and it's kind of cool racetrack, they have a bar out there too. Like
Oh, yeah.
like in the grandstands, like drivers can't go in there or pit guys, but if you guys are in the grandstand, you guys, want to go in there and get a drink or whatever, like they have that bar. It's really cool. Really cool.
All right. Well, that's another thing we'll have to check out here
There
in
we
the
go.
Tulsa metro area. Well, so what else you do?
I hunt and fish. I love to hunt and fish. It's kind of a getaway.
Okay, I'm a fishing idiot.
Yeah.
So what kind of fishing do you do?
I love crappie fishing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That is my absolute favorite.
And where do you go do that?
I'll go to Grand Lake, Eufaula.
I've got a guy
What-
down in Eufaula. We call him Crappie Dave. And man, I love fishing with that guy.
What are the exact coordinates to your favorite fishing spot? Your secret? No, I'm kidding.
Sorry, can't hear you. Breaking up.
All right, and I know you got a couple of dogs.
Oh yeah. So this is kind of funny. I have two Rottweilers. I was a big GTA fan.
Did you say Rottenweilers?
Rottweilers.
Okay.
They are true Rottweilers. I got a boy and a girl. I have a male and female. I was a big GTA fan growing up, like video game stuff. So,
Oh, yeah.
so I named my dog Chop off the video game.
Makes sense to me.
Silly, just something the silly, young man would do. And then my other dog's name is Molly because I liked Molly's game off
Okay.
the movie. So
Okay.
I was like, yeah, Molly.
All right. Well, that makes some sense. And so I'm a dog guy.
Yeah.
Are you a dog guy, Kenneth?
I'm in favor of dogs. Yes.
Well, okay. Like I love dogs. Like my routine every day is I wake up and I play with my two dogs.
Yeah, same.
That's I don't know what other business guys are doing, but that's like one of the highlights of my day. When I come home, they're jumping up in the air. They're excited to see me, regardless of the day I had.
Absolutely.
And there's just something that a lot of people in the Bong group are dog people.
Yeah, it's a dog is a great companion in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like some people are cat people, some people are dog people.
It really is. I mean, dogs are great companions. I mean, think about this. You can put your significant other in a trunk and your dog in the trunk, drive around all day, come back. Which one's excited to see you when you open it?
That's a good point. Maybe we edit that in post.
We might.
Okay, that is not a confession.
No, that's just a little thing from the internet there, a little joke.
Okay,
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
We don't actually do this.
No, of
Dear
course not.
FBI, do not worry about
Do
this
not
one.
follow Kenneth Bauckham for 1237 North 37th Street.
That's right.
All right, so let's take this forward. Let's pay it forward. What advice can you give other business owners that are maybe in your category that are fairly new? And maybe it applies to all business owners. I'm 42 years in, but let's give some advice to business owners here.
My advice to business owners, you are going to get knocked down. Take the hits and keep going.
Take the hits.
Don't quit. You're going to be in a spot one day where you don't own a job, you're going to own a company. Don't quit. And that's my best advice to give anybody. Find your passion, find your why, go after it.
Got it.
Boom.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good tagline right there.
Yeah.
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
You know who quits?
Quitters.
Quitters. That's right. Yeah, that's good advice. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. Cole, we've really loved having you here today.
Yeah.
That I had such a great experience in the lawn industry, and I was excited to visit with you after I saw your show notes, and that you're a racer as well. Like I think this is the start of something that's a whole lot of fun for us, and we're glad to have you in the Bong event. Why don't you wrap us up? Give us one big nugget. I mean, I think maybe you just gave us the nugget that we were talking about, but do you want to expand on that at all?
Yeah, I mean, I can. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get much better than that, but I mean, find that passion that drives you, that why you're going to wake up and, go after what you want. I mean, you got to have dreams, find it, go after it.
Is there something you're working hard for in 24?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something I want to go public with right now.
Okay. So, well,
Ooh, top secret.
okay, we'll shut the show down here.
All right.
I want to hear
Bingo.
about this. So let me lead us out of here. We ready to
Let's do it.
shut her down? So how many shows have we done now? This is number 10?
This was number 9.
Number 9.
Episode 9.
Episode 9
Coltin
in the
Ratcliff.
book. So so if you're a listener and you wouldn't mind downloading this, we love downloads, and it feeds our very fragile egos.
That's right.
When somebody downloads a show, or share it with your friend, or post it on your Facebook page. I know, Coltin, that you're helping people with what you do, not just the work you do, but the attitude that you have. And I think that's a value to everybody in our B.O.N.G community. So we're glad you all stopped by here today here at Elevate Coworking, and to our sponsors, Clarence, Lori, Kenneth Bockham, and we are so glad to be putting this show on for the community. And hopefully that you're finding some value in this. And until our next show, we tell you, make good choices. Be nice to each other. Do something magnificent today. And we want to say goodnight to all 4 listeners that we have over there in Shawnee, Oklahoma, where I'm from. And to the 3 of you who continually like my posts, I wanted to tell you, hey, I'm heading over to Quick Trip. Y'all need anything? Have a good day.
That's our show for today. Stay tuned for another riveting edition of Cashflows.